Ted, on this same episode where Jim is going to scare you guys off with a lead pipe, you get a really, really big match, and it's for the North American title against Brad Armstrong. Let's drop in on the final moments.
Sleeper hold, boys. Brad Armstrong's got that sleeper on DiBiase. DiBiase won't have long, and if he doesn't get out of that, he will be on Green Street. Brad Armstrong's got him wrapped up. Ronnie West checking the hands. Zach Barr screaming out there. Ted DiBiase in a lot of trouble as Brad Armstrong has got him. Oh, DiBiase diving for the ropes, and Armstrong just got his throat driven hard into that middle cable. DiBiase, in a desperation move, may have lucked off, or else it may have been intentional, but he has just about decapitated Brad Armstrong. But DiBiase may not be able to pull it back together because he'd been in the grips of that sleeper for so long. DiBiase pulling Armstrong out of the ring onto the floor. No, he's taking Brad Armstrong. He's taking Brad Armstrong and driving his leg around that steel post. Ted DiBiase is pressuring Brad Armstrong's leg around that steel post. Brad Armstrong is writhing in pain as DiBiase dropping on that knee. Looks like he's badly damaged Brad Armstrong's knee. The crowd cheering for Brad Armstrong. DiBiase going for the figure four. He's got the figure four locked up. Ronnie West is asking Brad Armstrong. He's asking him. Brad Armstrong is in excruciating pain. Ronnie West calls for the bell. Brad Armstrong apparently is submitted. Brad Armstrong submitted. He's writhing in agony. And Ted DiBiase, the winner of this match, Ted DiBiase, the new North American champion. Ted DiBiase.
You see the smile on his face as he has the coveted belt across his chest, and here comes Akbar to congratulate him.
Ted DiBiase, the North American champion. He has that 27 pounds of silver and gold. And Skandar Akbar now has the bargaining tool he needed to force everybody to his type of terms.
All right, the new North American champion, and look at that. There's the original North American belt. Hang on, I'm going to zoom in on you. You can move it to your right a little bit. There it is. Look at that.
There it is.
That's before they got that big, heavy version of the belt.
Oh, this is the heavy version, brother.
Is it really?
It is, and it's not it's a replica, but it's an exact replica.
Man, that is incredible.
And it is heavy.
Man, that North American belt was like, it was considered the belt. It was the belt of the territory. Bill Watts's big one. And Ted, I didn't realize it before I started doing research for this episode, but you won your first North American belt back in 1976 when it was still the NWA tri-state version of the championship.
Yeah,
back in those days. So, man, Ted, I know that most fans know the value of being WWF champion and NWA champion. What can you tell us about the significance of that North American belt and what it meant to you as a performer?
Well, I mean, number one, the promotion is not going to put a championship belt on somebody unless they know that that person is capable of carrying it.
Man, the North American title, I think that a lot of fans, don't really know about it or think about it very much, but it was a big honor for you to get that belt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now,
it's, and, I don't want to be bragging on myself, but if you're the guy carrying the belt, then you're the guy you're the number one in the territory.
Absolutely.
So,
and yeah, this was like your third or fourth time carrying that belt. So Watts clearly had a lot of faith in you. So it's really cool that you got to have it here. I will say though, so Jim Duggan and I recently covered this exact topic, the best dressed man, And I asked him about you winning this belt because, after JYD departed, Jim had become the top baby face in the territory.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, like, Jim, now that you're the top guy, the top baby face in the territory, Ted is coming in. He's essentially fresh back from the Georgia territory, and he's winning the North American belt. And I was like, not that you'd be jealous, of course not. Ted is your friend, but were you aspiring to get your hands on the North American title now that you were the top babyface? And Jim was like, no. He was like, I was making the money that I wanted to make, and I didn't want another heavy thing to be in my bag as I traveled from town to town. so I'm curious, like, a lot of guys seem to view belts in that light. Is that kind of how you view it as well, where it's just a pain in the ass?
Yes. It's kind of like I'm trying to remember what it was, what belt I had, and then we won. We won the tag team titles or something. So now I was a tag team, world tag team title holder, and I can't remember, but I thought I said, and I can't remember who I said it to. So if you think I'm carrying both of these things all over the country, you're out of your mind.
That's a lot of weight in your bag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And just one belt adds a lot, let alone if you got 2 or 3 in there. Forget that.
Yeah, but I had the it's kind of like I don't know. It's the only. I mean, would you always aspire to be the world champion? Only if you understand it in light of the business. In other words, knowing that whoever's got that belt is like he's at the top of the heap, and he can pretty much get in the ring and make anybody look good.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my aspiration. And so, obviously, I mean, it's a work. You're not really the world champion.
More than anything, it's probably just nice to get a vote of confidence from the company where they're saying, like, we believe in you. You're our guy. Here's our belt.
Yeah.
So Ted, you don't have to give me any figures, but is it safe to assume, again, you're fresh back to the territory? Is it safe to assume you get a little bump in pay when you become the champion in Mid-South?
It's been so long, but yeah, probably. Yeah.
It seems logical that you'd want to put a little extra.
Maybe not so much. I mean, it's kind of, well, I'll put it this way. If you're a champion and you're carrying the belt, obviously you're pretty much going to be the main event every night.
Yep.
Wherever you go. And based on that, the main event gets the big, the biggest payoff.
When you're in the main event, you're at least partially responsible.
You're the guy who the rest of the crowd, the rest of the card is, looking to you to draw the crowd.
Yep.